Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell. Welcome to Two Women in Crypto, a weekly podcast birthed on a whim by two women who are excited about the cryptocurrency landscape and have a shared passion about empowering others to step into the digital, tokenized world of the future. We offer tips, tricks, and our own individual insights as to how to begin to navigate this shift. We are not financial advisors nor experts. We are just here to encourage you to look at the possibilities. So welcome to the future. You're right on time. Good morning.
Good morning, Kelly. How are you this fine morning?
This fine fall morning, we're having a beautiful fall. The leaves are gorgeous. It's my favorite time of year. Nothing like walking with the wind and the leaves blowing around your feet. So things are well here. How about you?
Everything is fantastic.
Good.
Yep. Yep. So, all right, everybody. I mean, we got a lot to talk about. There's so much stuff going on. Oh my God.
Every day there's another riddle, isn't there?
Yeah, it's to me, part of it is funny and part of it is so super disturbing, right? So I just want to start the show off. Let's talk about some FUD, right? And some blatant lies. Okay. The first one, let's talk about the Bitcoin spot ETF. So, and this is a good learning experience for everybody, right? Because what happened was Cointelegraph and some crypto people call Cointelegraph coin tell a lie because every once in a while they lie. And it's like, it really is like one of the major crypto hubs for news. You know what I mean? And they came out and they posted that the spot Bitcoin ETF was approved. And it wasn't. But what happened to the price of Bitcoin?
Right. I mean, it was a huge, huge spike up.
So here's the learning experience. What happens when the actual spot Bitcoin ETF gets approved? We saw Bitcoin jump about 10% in about 10 minutes.
Yep.
That's how fast crypto moves. Okay.
Yep, absolutely.
So I want to put things in perspective for folks. We have 8 to 10 companies that have filed a spot Bitcoin ETF approval with the SEC, right? The Securities Exchange Commission. So these 8 companies are worth $17.7 trillion. The amount of American citizens, if you add up all of our money that's in the banking system, $17 trillion. So 8 companies are worth just as much as all the American deposits in the bank.
Yeah.
It's
wild.
fascinating. It's mind-blowing. And I just want to say, no one knows if Bitcoin is going to take another dip. Nobody knows, right? You can listen to 20 different economists, people that, are experts in chart analysis. The bottom line is this: no one knows. But when you look at Bitcoin's chart and you go back to the beginning of the year, right? You go to tradingview.com, you click on Bitcoin, pull up a 1-year chart. Bitcoin is up over 64% on the year. It's slowly creeping up, which means that we're in this sideways accumulation and we may not go back down. So we know that the spot Bitcoin ETF is going to get approved. So if you're on the fence and you're thinking about whether or not you should purchase some Bitcoin, not financial advice, but like just follow the research, follow the news, and make an educated decision, right? Because again, to see Bitcoin shoot up like that, it's it's a good reminder of what it's like when we're in a bull cycle, right? And it's just like you wake up and you're like, whoa.
It is. It is fascinating to watch what can drive the market, and those candles can be just in a moment's notice, as we experienced. So,
Exactly. So, I just kind of wanted to like point that out. So that's the first FUD with Coin Telegraph, right? The second one was there was an announcement about XRP being integrated into Roblox, which apparently is like, I think it's like the most popular game for gamers right now. There's 200 million active users per month playing this game. And the in-game purchases, I guess, per year are well over 700 million. So this is big adoption for XRP. BitPay, which is a company, they're the ones that came out and said, we integrated this for Roblox. And then they came back out later on and said, oh, this is a mistake.
yeah, I think the totality of all of it is, what can you trust? Seriously, it doesn't
Right.
matter from photographs or anything else. It's like you really can't trust any news source.
Period. Right. So, this is making my job a little bit harder being like the functional analyst researcher for Two Women in Crypto. So I'm going to stay on top of this. Every time there's like something that comes out, I'm going to have to verify it on multiple different levels. So just very interesting. But again, that's so much fun, right? That's those two things right there are so much fun. Of course, the price of XRP didn't even move a penny. If anything, it went down for XRP. So, but the other thing that's kind of like crazy, you know, it's like obviously like, we are in wartime, right? We're in war, people are fighting each other. And it's always like the government and the World Economic Forum, the BIS, the IMF, they always say the same thing. During a crisis, let's not let a good crisis go to waste. And, let's blame cryptocurrency for the war so we can regulate it and we can monitor you. We can track you and we can trace you. The narrative is clear, folks. We have to make our voices heard, right? Because again, I want everyone to think about this for 1 second. About 3 weeks ago, we printed, right, $500 billion to pay our debt, like the balance on our credit card debt.
Yeah.
Bitcoin is worth $500 billion. That's it. We literally printed the market cap of Bitcoin 3 weeks ago, but yet Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, which is about a $1 trillion market cap, is the cause for funding this war. And it's FUD, right? Because the honest truth is back in April, the donors that were donating to Hamas stopped. Why did they stop? Because the blockchain is trackable, traceable. It's not a good way to launder money. It's a good way to get caught, right? So what's concerning, and I took a screenshot last night, like after I taught my class, and I'm like, Senator Warren is obviously not for the people. You know what I mean? She said, this is her tweet, right? It's alarming and should be a wake-up call for lawmakers and regulators that digital wallets connected to Hamas received millions of dollars in cryptocurrency. So they're basically blaming cryptocurrency. Warren is blaming cryptocurrency for the attack on Israel. Now, when you are in crypto and you start learning about the economy, you know that the dollar is what is most laundered and is what's most used for nefarious reasons, not cryptocurrency. Here's a good point. Tether, right? The USDT, the stable coin Tether, was able to freeze about $700,000 of funds that were going around the Middle East. Okay. It's trackable, it's traceable. And if it's a centralized coin, you can freeze it.
Yep.
Okay. So this whole thing that Warren's doing, she got 100 people to sign the letter to send to Biden. We're moving into a digital economy. We have a brief moment of time for sovereignty, digital sovereignty, and we have to get it now. Because if we let Senator Warren win and get her plan done, everything that we do will be trackable, traceable, and monitored. And these people know what's best for us, right, Kel? Where we should spend our money. Where are you going? Who are you hanging out with? Right?
Yep.
I mean, so, it's FUD. Crypto is not used for illicit activities to the extent that the dollar is, right? So let's just keep that in mind, because it's like it's well under 1% of the amount of money that gets laundered through cryptocurrency. Okay. I mean, it's ridiculous. But you're not going to let a good crisis go to waste, are you, Senator Warren?
Well, in general, across the board, it's like such a broad paint stroke, right? You're just trying to on everything. So
yeah. And meanwhile,
all good points.
yeah. Meanwhile, I'm watching the Bitcoin conference still, because it was a couple-day conference, on the Pacific West Coast. I think it was in LA. And I'm listening to people talking about, just the United States, where we are with our economy, and like, are we going to go into like this death loop of like a debt crisis spiral, right? So if we're printing money, think of it this way. I'm a single mom. I got to feed my kids. I got to put gas in the car. I got to pay my rent. I got to pay my car payment. Inflation is continuously going up, more slowly at the moment, but it's going up every single month, right? It's just the rate of inflation is slowing down. We're still in a high inflationary environment. My paycheck's not going up. I got to take a credit card. I got my credit card. I maxed it out. Shoot, I need more money. I get another credit card and I max that out. Now, when I try to get my third credit card so I could put food on my table, the interest rate is higher, or I get denied. And then I file for bankruptcy, right? Because I'm not bringing in enough money to even pay the minimum payments of my debt. This is the United States. This is where we're at. Okay. We're not making enough money as a country to pay the minimum payments on our debt. So the interest rates go up. We have to print more money, and we're in this loop, and it's very concerning. And this is why we hold Bitcoin. This is why we hold gold. This is why we hold silver. Okay. We want money outside the system that is not controlled by a third party intermediary or a bank or a central bank.
Yep.
I mean, it's pretty clear, it's pretty clear now. But like, if you have any questions, if you have any kind of concerns, because when we go to Coinbase, Uphold, Crypto.com, some of our favorite centralized exchanges, we want to buy our Bitcoin, but then we want to put it on a hardware wallet, like an Engrave wallet. I think Trezor is coming out with a couple of new wallets. I'll be doing a deeper dive on that. But like, not your keys, not your crypto, right? So it's great to utilize these centralized exchanges, but then we want to get our Bitcoin off, right? So it's our keys, it's our responsibility. We are our own bank.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm definitely like, it's interesting because, I was listening to Warren Buffett. I don't really like him, but he was just like, the worst asset you can hold during a time of war is dollars, because we need to print the dollars to support Ukraine, Israel. Yesterday, Biden comes out. We're going to send $100 million to the people of Palestine. Wouldn't it be great if they sent $100 million to the people in Hawaii and Maui? Oh, wait. That's a side note. Something to make you think, though. You know, I mean, I get it. We're all like, there's people, it's a humanitarian crisis, things like that. But I'm looking at Stellar providing the humanitarian aid to the Ukraine, and they are eating this up. How can we get this to go worldwide? Every single crisis we are going to watch, Kel, because I'm telling you, it's a stepping stone to get people into this digital economy that's going to be centralized.
Oh, absolutely. It's very orchestrated, well orchestrated, honestly, what they're putting out there. So
Totally. What a great strategy, you know?
absolutely. Their war board, would love to have a high look at it, but yep, they're definitely implementing their steps.
For sure, right? And that's why it's like we always say, like, let's just get prepared so we're not scared. You know what I
Right.
mean? So, you know, and that's good. So the other thing I wanted to kind of touch base on again, it's like some of the research that I'm doing, the regulators, you know, they're going to come at us hard. And we look at the largest decentralized exchange in the world, Uniswap. And the regulators are putting pressure on them to do KYC.
Yep. Yep. That's
It's
been
the same. Did you see that?
yeah.
And it's the same with MetaMask that we know is owned by Consensus and JP Morgan. It's the same thing. Okay. And then I was looking at it, Aave, a year ago, right? Aave is a savings and loan platform on the Ethereum blockchain for decentralized finance. A year ago, they kind of broke apart and they created, I believe it's called Aave Arc, KYC.
Mm.
Is coming to DeFi, and we're going to have to just see how this plays out. But again, when I look at the SEC and I look at the regulators, you know, they're not going after Uniswap to KYC if you live in like Ecuador or any other country. But if you're participating in liquidity pools on Uniswap in the United States, they're going to want you to KYC.
Absolutely. And there's another wallet that I've swapped to from MetaMask called Rabby. I don't know if you had a chance to look at that, but that's a DeFi wallet. And that works, you know, and you can just import your MetaMask seed phrase. You don't have to transfer all your coins. So there are alternatives out there.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
still,
there's definitely alternatives, but we're going to be like, you know, we're going to be flexible. We're going to watch how this is all playing out. And then we'll just, you know, every time they want a KYC, I'm sure there's going to be another DEX that pops up, right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. At the end of the day, that KYC is going to be in every little corner.
Right. Right. So, you know, I mean, I understand to some extent, like, you know, we open up a bank account. Obviously, we're going to KYC, but we need some sort of monetary sovereignty. And it's like, it's a slippery slope, right? If you do KYC for DEXs, what's next?
Right.
Is it going to be you're not allowed to be your own bank?
Yeah. No, I completely understand. Yeah. It's a complicated time.
Yeah. Yeah. So for now, we're all going to be our own bank. It's going to be really hard for them to take that away from us. And again, I think like as we move into this new economy, and kind of like with so many of these stories that were coming out that aren't true, you know, it'll expose a lot of these agencies and institutions, you know, and show the truth for who they really are and how they don't care about us. And then we rise and we reclaim our sovereignty. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool this last weekend. I was participating in an art fair, if you will, and I discovered that a couple of the artists are accepting cryptocurrencies.
Nice. I love
Yeah.
it.
really cool. But the interesting thing is they were all older, which surprised me. It wasn't the young artists, it was the older artists, and I would say 60 and above.
That's
Those
awesome.
that were accepting cryptocurrency.
That's so cool. I mean, I love hearing that. That's awesome.
Yep.
Cool.
Cool to see it.
Yeah, cool to see it. And if you want to buy a Ferrari, now you can use Bitcoin, Ethereum, a couple of cryptos, because
Yep.
everyone's lining up to buy a Ferrari.
That would definitely be on the top of my list when I make my whatever billions of dollars. Hey, do you?
Right?
Yeah.
So I want to share a story with you. So the other day, my friends asked me to go and speak about a cell tower that's on our local high school's grounds. And they're actually making money off of it from the telephone company. And a lot of the kids are starting to get headaches and things like that. So, we went with our research and we talked to them at the school board meeting. And part of the meeting was that the high school got caught in a phishing scheme, lost $700,000 of the school's money. And I'm sitting there in the back row, with a couple of people from Two Women in Crypto. I turned and I looked at Hope and I'm like, what technology solves this problem? And she was like, the blockchain. I was like, hell yeah. You know what I mean? We are going to move to the blockchain. This is getting out of control. Everyone's getting hacked. Everyone's getting scammed. This poor school system went to go make a wire transfer. And again, if they were listening to Two Women in Crypto, do a little bit first, then send the rest. Even if it's a wire transfer, they totally lost all that money.
How in the world? I just, that's unfathomable. It's so sad. So sad.
So sad. So that's a lot of money. That is a lot of money to lose. That's a lot of money to lose.
Wow.
And this is exactly the use case for blockchain, right? Because if I'm looking at the Flagler County School District, I know that they're not on the blockchain. They have a 1 point of failure. 1 point of failure. So if I put them on like an Algorand blockchain or XRP, or I mean, even though it's still going to be centralized, you're talking hundreds of nodes, right? Or think of it as hundreds of different points of failure. Way more secure. Doesn't mean you're going to have your privacy, but it's going to help with security. And that's, we desperately need that now, Kel, because I just keep hearing these stories over and over and over again. And Bitcoin fixes this. Cryptocurrency fixes this. And Larry Fink, 5 years ago, my client's not interested. They don't even ask about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. They don't want anything to do with it. Just the other day, same guy. Our clients are demanding a quality move, a quality play for cryptocurrency. Right? So now you're looking at crypto and Bitcoin as a safety asset, right? He said treasuries, he said gold, and he said cryptocurrency. Larry Fink is the person who's responsible for getting the BlackRock ETF approved. So now this is a flight to safety. I'm not a financial advisor. Kelly, you're not a financial advisor, but I'm looking at the trends and I'm looking at the narrative, and man, it's changing. And I believe in a couple of months, we're going to wake up and get a little teary-eyed joy, right? Because the market's going to start to go up.
Yeah, it definitely will be. So, yeah. Wow. Interesting.
Right? I mean, it's unbelievable. And he's like, oh, we're not even looking at crypto. And then now the truth comes out. We've been studying this for a decade, right? It's just like, they're all ready, folks. Bank of America, JP Morgan, Chase, every single institution has been building the new payment rails and the new financial economy on blockchain. Okay, this is a done deal. As soon as we get a signed bill for regulation, it is on. It is on like Donkey Kong.
There you go. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm super excited.
Time for this election year. All of it's very timely.
Right, of course. And, are we going to let the market crash during an election year? Or are we going to like print money to oblivion to prop everything up? So, whoever they want to get elected, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
You
Very
need your
interesting.
popcorn background on.
Oh, yeah. We'll do that next week. I'll do the popcorn. Oh, and I got some new shirts. Like we got some new shirts at Two Women in Crypto. Check out our website, and I'll wear one next week. It was a little chilly this morning, so I was like,
All is setting in. Awesome.
Yep. All right. So the other thing too is like a lot of people have been like really concerned that Bitcoin is going to be attacked 51% and they're going to bring down the Bitcoin blockchain. So everybody, Lynn Alden just wrote a new book about like it's called Broken Money. If you want to check it out, but I was listening to her at the Bitcoin conference, and like again, it's like today, the Bitcoin blockchain is 100% safe. They're nowhere near getting a 51% attack on all the different nodes. And again, as time goes on and Bitcoin blockchain matures, new things are going to be built. More people are going to have nodes, and it's going to be more and more difficult, even for a company like BlackRock, to take it down. And I don't think that this is like BlackRock's like dream is to bring down the Bitcoin blockchain, because he's going to become a part of it because it's a good monetary system. Right. So, it makes sense, right? That, that they would just participate in it, investing in all of the Bitcoin miners, becoming the second or third largest holder of MicroStrategy, backdoor to buy Bitcoin before the ETFs get approved. Very smart, right? So we just want to watch all of this. But, Lynn Alden said, Bitcoin is maturing, and we're going to sit back and we're going to watch this over the next couple of years. But in the short term, we know what's going on, right? We're going to get approval. The market's going to go up. We're going to get regulation. The market is going to go up. And then we're going to start talking about dollar cost averaging some of our profits out, which we'll do a class on, right? Check us out at twowomeninCrypto.com. We have classes. We're going to do another Q&A. We always do. It's the last Saturday of every month. Bring your questions. I know some of this stuff is overwhelming, but we break it down simple terms, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So I don't know, Kel. I'm starting to really start. I mean, I kind of always feel bullish because I see what's happening. I see the rails of the new financial system being built. So it's hard not to feel bullish all the time, even when some of our favorite projects have dropped 90%, right? Because we know where we're going. We might not know who all the winners are, but we're going to find out, I think over the next year or two, we're going to find out, right? So some really big winners are coming our way, and when I'm looking at Stellar and I'm listening to Danielle Dixon, the CEO of Stellar, and she's talking about the humanitarian aid and how this is, this can't just be a pilot, Kel. We gotta.
Yeah,
I think LM is going to be a big winner.
Well, I think all those ISO 222 tokens will be. So, yep. It's pretty
That's
cool.
right. That's pretty cool. And at the same time, I just want everybody not to panic, right? Because the United States is still the world reserve currency, even though we're starting to see countries and institutions start to break away from the dollar. They can manipulate this market, which obviously they're doing, but this can go on for multiple years, right? So we could go through another upcycle, crash again, have way more adoption, and then go through another cycle. And who knows? It could be a decade before, maybe some hyperinflation. We'll see what happens, right? Because, I mean, again, it can speed up because if we keep printing money to give to our allies for war, that's going to speed up inflation, right? So we're going to watch it, but I do think they can continuously kick the can down the road for a while longer.
Oh, I do too. Yeah. Yep, I do too. It's all part of the plan.
It's all part of the plan. What a plan. And it's very rare when average people without being an accredited investor can invest in projects like this, become a part of the new economy, before they start saying, hey, look, you want to buy into some of this stuff, you got to be an accredited investor,
right?
Or they try to just shut down all these different choke points, right? So you want to go to Binance, well, now you can't withdraw US dollars anymore. That's a choke point, right? So that's why we want to learn decentralized finance, use Coinbase and Uphold while we can. But I think it's really important that we get some USDC onboarded, send it off to our SafePal wallet or our Trust wallet, whatever wallet you have, so we can swap in a decentralized manner for our Bitcoin as the news and the narrative starts to shift and change.
Yep, sure. So if you have some extra dollars lying around, absolutely. Instead of keeping it in the bank, that's the way to go.
That's the way to go. That's the way to go. Cool.
Yeah. It's exciting. Truly.
It's so exciting. I mean, I'm pretty excited. I think Bitcoin's at like 28.5. I checked right before we hopped on. It's Thursday. We always pre-record a day early. So, I mean, we're looking good. We're still going sideways. But if you look at the chart of Bitcoin, we've been going sideways for, I don't know, 7-8 months now.
Almost, I mean, then if you look at all the other charts, they're all very, very similar in terms of their movements. So, but eventually that will break.
That's going to break. And when it does, we're going to be dancing.
Yes, indeed. It's a good thing.
All right. Well, lots of stuff going on. Anybody, if you guys have questions, like reach out. Kelly, any last minute thoughts or anything?
Nope. I think as always, what do we always say?
HODL'on.
Your hosts for Two Women in Crypto are Andrea Caldero and Kelly Lair. You'll find more information and details regarding the Two Women in Crypto membership, educational and informative class and event offerings, and more via their website, twowomenencrypto.com. Both Andrea and Kelly are available for speaking events and offer private consultations focused on helping individuals navigate the future. Until next time, HODL'on.